Hello, happy, let's see, what is it today? Tuesday. It is, let's see, happy Tuesday. It is a cloudy day here in San Diego County, which is odd, but sometimes we have weather here in Southern California. Opening up all the nasal passages. Okay. So a funny thing and kind of like a big milestone in Emma's world happened yesterday. So yesterday the kids were at school and she kept walking over to the potty. We have like a little potty down at the preschool that we have. And she kept walking over to the potty and she was doing this weekend a little bit too. She was always like lifting her shirt up, like kind of like how Arrow goes potty and standing up over it. And then today I think she was watching, she saw a couple of like the little girls actually sitting down. So she's like, huh, that's how I do it. So she kept trying to sit down. So I told Ryan, I was like, we need to get the little potty that we used to have for Arrow out of the attic. So we got it down and so that she could, we could see what happens. And you know what that little girl did last night? She went potty in the big girl potty. Yes, she did. And this morning she took a poop. Life of a 15-month-old. I am super stoked. We're still going to take it as it comes. I have no real expectations. But hey, if she's showing interest, I'm going to feed into that. But so that was super exciting and it was funny. So once Ryan got it down, we had it like in one of those like big like contractor trash bags. So we like opened it up and the potty was just dusty, so dusty. So I sat down on the ground and I got my rag and I got my cleaner and I was just cleaning. And she loves her and Arrow both, but she loves to grab my cleaner. And she grabs it and then she doesn't have enough like finger strength to like point it away from her, so she always has a tendency to point it towards her and spray. And it occurred to me that I might have a situation that not all moms out there or even like people in general, maybe grandparents, have, to where like I can let my baby spray herself with my cleaner and not have any issues. It was like, like I don't have a worry. I'm not like, "Oh my God, like don't spray that on yourself. It's not good for you." And it was like really was like I was like, "Wow, like that's nice." Like I can kind of and like I kept like it was fine for her how she sprayed herself all in the face. It got in her eye. It got in her mouth. It got, like got all over her chest. And it was like perfectly fine. There were no issues. I wasn't stressed. I did start to teach her like how to turn it around and hold the spray bottle so that she could actually like spray it so she could help me actually spray the toilet instead of herself. But so I don't know, that little thing just got me thinking, and I'm like, I really want to see all parents, all grandparents, just in all people, even with just pets, if you're pet parents, like, because like if you are cleaning your floors, your pets don't have shoes on. Most likely, your kids don't have shoes on. Hell, I rarely have shoes on, and whatever we step on, the pores in our feet and the pores in the dog's paws, like they have the biggest pores that are able to absorb whatever we really step on. That's one of the reasons why like doing like earthing and grounding exercises outside, being barefoot, is super beneficial because we're able to absorb all that good stuff from the earth. It's really good actually for our microbiome and our immunity, but that's a topic for another day. so so it got me thinking because probably a lot of people, one, would like be freaking out if their kid was spraying themselves in the face with the cleaner, or maybe like you're not freaking out and your kid is spraying yourself in the face with the cleaner and eating it and getting in their eye and up their nose, but it's something that could like if that keeps continuing could cause harm to their bodies and to the functioning of their bodies in the long run. So I feel like it is my I it's like not even like a desire, it's like a I need to share this because using really clean products has been important for me for like almost 20 years now. Like when I went off to college in Flagstaff, Flagstaff was a really crunchy city. I lived in, like very crunchy, very like earth friendly. And so they like that's where I started going down my path of like learning how to take better care of the earth, especially with Earth Day coming up. To start switching out the products. I started to do a lot of DIYs. I don't do quite as many these days because I'm a busy mom. Still love a good DIY with like home products. But so that's kind of where I started my whole like green living journey and being very aware of the chemicals and the stuff that's in our everyday products that we have no idea about. So I thought I would share a little bit about that and why I have such peace of mind about my baby spraying the cleaner that I use literally all over her. And it doesn't even faze me. I'm just like, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. So I hope to be able to bring that to everyone. So, like a little background. Okay, so first things first, the FDA does not have any type of to do with the chemicals used in our everyday products, in our skin products, in our cleaning products, in our home products. There is no safety standard or no requirement for listing ingredients. A big one is laundry detergent, especially the one that starts with a T and ends in an E. Yeah, that one. No good. No good. Because they don't have to label all the ingredients. That's like the first key. I'm like, when I learned that, I was like, excuse me? What? What? So, and then the second thing is back in 1976, the toxic substance can't talk. The Toxic Substance Control Act was enacted. And basically, what that did is it grandfathered in thousands, if not tens of thousands, of chemicals into our everyday products. And they never had to be vetted, they never had to be tested to make sure that they were safe for animals and humans and the earth, quite frankly. Because remember, whatever we clean with gets put back into the earth one way or another. It either gets put back into the earth through our sewage system, like when you're washing it down, through our septic system, like we're on a septic system here, so that goes literally right back into the earth, in the landfill, even if you compost some things, like it's very important to be mindful of what's in the products. So, if you're hopping on and this is kind of like a little mind blowing to you, like leave me a heart or something because that's what I'm here. I just want to educate, not in a fear based way. That is never my intention, but truly to make just a little more mindful and educated decisions in our day to day lives and feel empowered. Be like, I can look at an ingredient list and be like, oh, no, this has fragrance in it. I want nothing to do with that because I don't know what that fragrance is termed. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But like that way you're more empowered and you can look at things. So like I said, in 1976, they passed the Toxic Substance Control Act, which grandfathered in all these chemicals that never had to be tested that we have been using. And it is my firm, firm belief, one of the issues, we have so many autoimmune disorders, we have rising rates of autism, we have so many chronic health issues, is because for like a few generations, like at least one, like 2, 3 generations now, we have bombarded with so many chemicals and it just keeps increasing. To me, that is one of the reasons. There are others for sure, but that one's a huge one for me. So, So here's some like little facts, if you will. So regular use of cleaning sprays can have as much impact on health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Yep. So even if you think you're doing pretty good with not not smoking cigarettes, which is good, you know, but like a lot of like those aerosol sprays and those air fresheners and those cleaners that we use, they are really harmful on the respiratory system. They take a major, major toll. Um, so toxins can invade our bodies and they can bioaccumulate. They can actually build up over time. So that's a big thing. So you may think like, well, just, a little bit and this isn't a big deal. And yeah, that little bit's not a big deal, but the body, especially when the liver is already overtaxed, the kidneys are overtaxed with like our body care products and what, foods we're consuming if they're not the cleanest, the body can only handle so much. It gets to a point where it's like, I can't do anything more, especially if you have skin stuff going on. If you have any type of skin issues going on, it's usually a major indicator that your liver is overtaxed. Your liver, because that's what will happen is like your liver can't keep up. So the next place that the body will try to expel toxins is via the skin. So if you have skin issues going on, please switch out your products. Please, please, please. I am here for you. You can reach out to me. I will gladly help you. It's springtime, spring cleaning. Let's not only clean our homes, but let's clean out the products that we're using to make sure that they're actually supporting our body's God-given rights to be able to breathe freely and function. Because when our bodies are given a proper foundation to function, they're amazing. They're very strong. Okay, getting fired up. Okay, so infants in the womb, if you have, like any pregnant women out there, like your baby is getting exposed to whatever products you're using. Remember, the skin absorbs everything that goes into the bloodstream. That umbilical cord is directly linked in the placenta, right, to the body. So they are getting just what you're getting. It's an equal exchange there. Okay, so another fun fact, did you know that the average home has about like 3 to 5 times the air, what am I trying to spit out? I'm having a hard time. Let's see. Indoor air is 5 to 7 more I can't talk this morning. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's try this for the third time. Indoor air is 5 to 7 times more polluted than the outdoor air. There's actually been studies done on this. You can go and, Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine you like to use. And there have been studies that have been done to show that our average indoor air quality is much worse than even if you are in the Inland Empire of here in Southern California. If you live in the Inland Empire or you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's horrible. So another reason why it's important for us to use cleaning products. Okay, if you suffer from asthma, if you have any type of respiratory thing, especially like asthma and stuff, making sure you have your cleaning products are as clean as possible is going to be so beneficial to your asthma. For my mom used to have this like chronic cough. She coughed all the time, especially like if she got a cold, she would be coughing. I'm going to cough right now because I'm talking about it. The mind is a powerful thing, my friends. She would have this chronic cough, and she, especially if she got sick, she would hack like to the point where she couldn't breathe, she couldn't sleep at night for like a month or two after she got over a cold. It took her forever to get through this. She had allergy shots, she had, you name it, she had it. And when I started down my health, like this journey that I've been on, and I was like, finally, like, it took me a few years, but I'm like, Mom, you are a clean freak. You are a clean freak. You love to clean. That's great. I did not get that gene. But, like, you need to use good cleaning products. And I didn't even have like the thought that it would help her cough, but now she's been using them for a few years, and the woman does not cough like she used to. It is like probably one of her biggest testimonies. Like I think she has many. But like, so that always made me happy because one day she called me, she's like, Mallory. I was like, what? What happened? What? She's like, you know what I realized? I haven't been coughing. And I'm like, huh, you're right. You haven't been. I mean, I see the woman all the time. I can attest to it. So, yes. Okay, so let's move on. So, one of the things, so how do you know if a product is harmful? Because here's the thing is like we can't trust, remember, we can't necessarily trust that all the ingredients are listed on the label of the product. And sometimes those ingredients, like you're like, what is that word? So, DuckDuckGo, Google is your friend. Always feel free to start Googling things. Like we are so blessed this day and age to have the resources at our fingertips that we have. So start reading ingredients. And just because something says like clean, clear and free or fragrance free does not necessarily mean that is free of chemicals and yucky stuff, because they actually put additives in those things to take some of the fragrance out. And there's a company that I used to use all the time, and I ran out of my dish soap that I normally use now that I love. Excuse me. And I had to, like, I tried theirs again because I was like, well, I used to kind of like them. Not. It said like clean and free and clear. Sorry, friends. I had a little head cold went around our family. And of course I didn't grab any water because why would I do that? Ah. Okay. Getting all excited, talking too much, and then I start like, woo! All right. So let's keep going. So unscented and free and clear does not necessarily mean those things. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, so now you're asking like, oh crap, now you've scared me. How do I know what to avoid? I don't know. Should have grabbed water. I am so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna quicken it up here. So on my website, I will post a link in the comments, but you can go on my website. I have a chemical dirty dozen that you can download, and it'll kind of go over the 12 biggest chemical culprits that you can kind of start checking your ingredients to stay away from. And on that little chart, it'll also tell you like why you don't want them, because a lot of them, another big thing that's going around is hormone stuff, right? I mean, how many people do you know that have thyroid issues? How many people do you know that have reproductive issues? How many people do you know that have skin issues? How many people do you know that have like adrenal issues, right? Like all of those things, a lot of these chemicals, they bind on to our receptor sites of our glands. So like the thyroid, like one big thing that loves to bind onto thyroid is fluoride and chlorine. Both those ones love to bind onto the thyroid receptor sites, which then doesn't allow the thyroid to get the iodine that it needs. So the thyroid needs a lot of good iodine to function. But if all those receptor sites in the thyroid are clogged up with chlorine and fluoride, it can't get that iodine to then function properly, and then everything gets thrown out of whack, Or same with the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland gets easily calcified by chlorine. That's one of the ways. And when the pituitary gland gets calcified, it can't function properly and it can't talk to the thyroid properly. And then the thyroid talks to so many other glands. So then all those get all thrown off. Okay? Remember, our body is a whole unit. It is not separate. Okay, so Some of the big ones is triclosan. So triclosan is a known carcinogen, especially when it interacts with UV rays. So triclosan used to be in a lot of hand sanitizers, and when it interacts with it, we put it on our skin, the UV rays would hit our skin and it would create dioxin. Dioxin is known to lead to skin cancer. One of the reasons why I feel like we have such high rates of skin cancer, even though we are very aware of skin cancer and we're covering ourselves up to protect ourselves, yet skin cancer rates are still going high. One of the reasons is all the chemicals. Look at your sunscreen. A lot of sunscreens are chemical-based sunscreens. Those are not doing you any favor. Like, ask yourself, why is it we are so aware of skin cancer and we take so many precautions, yet skin cancer is still on the rise? I always recommend a non-nano mineral sunscreen. I have an amazing one if you want a suggestion, but always non-nano mineral sunscreen will be your friend. Okay. DEA related ingredients. So anything that starts with DEA and then like has like another word after it, stay away from those. In my little chart, it'll have like ingredients, like products that you'll commonly find these things in. Phthalates. Phthalates are another big one. Parabens. I think people are starting to get aware of parabens and phthalates. Sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate. So your SLS and SLESs. Your MITs and BITs. Let's say phenoxyethanol is another big one. Any quats, so something that starts with QUATS. All of this is in my guide. That's kind of what I'm reading off here right now. So that's why I'm looking down, because all of these I can't necessarily pronounce. So this is something, and then anything with perfume or fragrance. So this is kind of like the last little topic I'm going to hit. So here's the thing. We like things that smell good. I mean, don't get me wrong. You probably all know by now I'm an oily girl. I love my oils. I love my essential oils. I love how they smell. I love how they benefit my body, all the things. Love things that smell amazing. Totally not trying to take that away from you. But what the thing is a lot of the fragrances in our products are all synthetic. They're all chemical made. They're not coming from the actual earth of those beautiful flowers and those beautiful herbs. They're not coming from plants. They're coming from a lab. And most of the time when something comes from a lab, it's not natural. Our body doesn't know what to do with it. Our body doesn't know what to do with it. It can't process it. And it will try, but it won't do it efficiently or effectively, so our body's working harder than it needs to. It has enough stuff to do. Our bodies have enough stuff to do. They don't need to be fighting the products that we're using too, especially when we have control over it. And it's cost effective. So cost effective, especially in the long run. You know, if you don't have major doctor bills later on, sign me up. Okay, so parabens, so with the fragrance. And then the other thing with the fragrance, even a lot of the times that can be like an umbrella. So it can be listed as a trade secret. So people don't have to disclose what is actually making up that fragrance. So that's a big thing too to be mindful of. That's why I'm like, if it says fragrance in there, like, just set it down and be safe, because you don't know what's in there. You never know. You know, it could be something totally, maybe like they use, I don't know, like, so that's why when I found the company that I use. So the company that I use is Young Living. I love Young Living. I love Young Living because I know this company has integrity. I've literally been to the farms where they grow the products, where they harvest the products, distill the products. I know that they care about the earth as much as I do. And that's really important to me because my whole green journey actually started with me not really caring so much about myself. I mean, I was 20. I didn't care about myself very much. Like, you're flooding around, I was drinking, I was doing my thing, but I really did care about the earth. So I was like, well, like, I'll start making some of my own cleaning products and stuff so that I know what I'm, flushing down the toilet after I clean it or rinsing down the sink or the shower is not going to be harmful for the earth when it washes down the drain, because everything goes back to the earth. So, and then I became a mom, so making all that stuff from scratch wasn't as feasible for me. And that's when Young Living walked into my life. It was actually a company I'd heard about way before, and I'd had one oil from them, and I loved the oil. I could smell and vibrationally feel the difference energetically. So, and actually started with their Thieves line. And I fell in love because one, the Thieves Cleaner is the most cost effective you can get. Like it's cheaper than even if you buy stuff from the dollar store. It truly is. And it lasts a long way. And that's what my daughter was sitting there while we were washing her new potty, was spraying herself in the face with. And I was like, you're fine. It'll be fine. So that's what I use. I love their cleaner. So if you are ready to start taking the next step and being like, you know what, I really want to start purging some of the like going through being mindful and purging the products from my home and learning more, reach out to me. I am here for you. Leave me a comment, message me, whatever's most comfortable for you. And I would love to help walk you through that journey to start ditching the chemicals from your home. And we don't have to do it all at once. That's the beauty too. Like it can get a little overwhelming and you're like, oh my God, I have to like get rid of literally everything. No, we start small. Take it step by step. All right. It does not have to be a big stressful thing. I took mine step by step. I didn't do it all at once. So I think that's all I have for now. I could keep sitting here and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking because I'm super passionate about this, but I feel like I've been on here for 26 minutes. That is plenty long. You know where to find me. Please, please reach out. I am truly here for you. I want you to live the best life that you can live. You have the power. You have the control. You can do this. I love you all so very much. Bye.